chosen ones, if you are listening right now, it is not by chance. Your heart was drawn here because God has been working quietly yet powerfully in your life, especially in the way you have loved. Heaven itself has taken notice, not because your relationship is perfect, not because you never struggle, but because your love has reflected something rare. Commitment in a world that runs from it, faith in a culture that gives up easily, and grace where bitterness usually takes root. This message is for those who have chosen to love with patience, to forgive when it hurt, and to stay when walking away would have been easier. If that sounds like you, type "I receive this" in the comments and stay connected, because what God is showing us today will strengthen your journey. From the beginning, God designed love to be sacred, not shallow. He created connection not just for companionship, but for growth, purpose, and spiritual strength. When two hearts come together with God at the center, something powerful forms. Love becomes more than emotion, it becomes a covenant, a daily decision to honor, support, and protect one another. This is why your love has made such an impact in the spiritual realm. Every time you chose understanding over anger, every time you prayed instead of quitting, every time you showed kindness when pride wanted control, heaven rejoiced. Your love became a testimony. Many people search for love based on what they can receive, but God teaches us that the strongest love is built on what we are willing to give. Sacrifice is not loss when it is done in love, it is an investment. When you show patience, you plant seeds of peace. When you forgive, you open the door for healing. When you stay faithful, you build trust that no storm can easily shake. This is why your relationship is different. It has depth because God has been shaping it. Some of you are watching and thinking, "We've been through so much, I didn't know it mattered." It mattered more than you realize. Every challenge you faced and overcame strengthened your bond. Every difficult season forced you to lean on God instead of your own strength, and every breakthrough became proof that love anchored in faith can survive pressure. What you endured did not destroy you, it refined you. This is also why your relationship has faced resistance. Anything that carries God's blessing attracts opposition. The enemy does not waste effort on what has no future. Strong unions are targeted because they produce strength, stability, and generational impact. When two people walk in unity with God, their prayers carry authority, their dreams gain momentum, and their household becomes a place of peace. That kind of love disrupts darkness. That kind of love builds legacy. If you've ever wondered why misunderstandings tried to rise suddenly, why stress increased when things were improving, or why distractions tried pulling you apart when unity was growing stronger, now you understand. It wasn't random, it was resistance. But look at you still standing. Look at you still loving. Look at you still choosing one another. That alone is a victory. This is why it is so important to guard your relationship spiritually, not just emotionally. Pray together, even when you feel tired. Speak life over each other, especially during hard seasons. Refuse to let small disagreements grow into distance. Address issues with humility instead of pride. Love is protected when both hearts choose peace over being right. Let me ask you, what has God already brought you together through? What storms did you survive that once felt impossible? Share in the comments if you feel led. Your testimony could strengthen someone else who is still believing for restoration or healing. God uses relationships as classrooms for the soul. Through love, He teaches patience. Through conflict, He teaches humility. Through forgiveness, He teaches mercy. Through commitment, He teaches faithfulness. Your relationship is not just about happiness, it is about transformation. You are becoming stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of how you love. When you serve one another instead of competing, your bond deepens. When you listen instead of defending, understanding grows. When you pray instead of arguing, peace settles in. These small choices create powerful results over time. Strong love is not built in grand moments alone, but in daily decisions to show up with grace. Some of you may be walking through a season where love feels stretched, responsibilities are heavy, communication feels harder, emotions are tired. But hear this clearly. This season is not the end of your joy. It is strengthening your foundation. Just as muscles grow through resistance, love matures through perseverance. Keep choosing each other. Keep choosing faith. Keep choosing patience. What feels heavy now is producing something beautiful ahead. God is not finished with your story. The same love that carried you through past struggles will carry you into greater peace, deeper connection, and stronger purpose. Your relationship is becoming a source of blessing, not just for you, but for others who will witness your growth. Before we continue, if this message is speaking to your heart, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to The Chosen Star so you stay connected to messages that strengthen your faith and relationships. Share it with someone who could use encouragement today. Your love is more than personal. It is spiritual. It reflects God's heart. It pushes back darkness. It builds future generations, and heaven is rejoicing over the way you have chosen to love. Chosen ones, love that carries God's presence never stays shallow. It stretches, matures, and becomes stronger with time. What began as attraction has grown into commitment. What started with excitement has been refined into loyalty. This is how God develops relationships that last, not by removing hardship, but by teaching hearts how to endure with grace. Many people walk away when feelings change, but you stayed when faith was required. That choice alone has shaped something extraordinary. Every season of your relationship has carried a lesson. In moments of joy, God taught gratitude. In moments of conflict, He taught humility. In moments of waiting, He taught trust. And in moments of breakthrough, He showed you that patience always produces reward. Your love story is not perfect, but it is powerful because God has been involved in every chapter. One of the greatest traps the enemy sets for relationships is distraction, not always through big mistakes, but through small neglects. Busy schedules that replace connection, unspoken frustrations that slowly harden hearts, comparisons that steal contentment. This is why intentional love matters. When you choose to protect time together, to communicate honestly, and to pray consistently, you build a shield around your bond. Unity is one of the strongest forces God releases through relationships. When two people agree in faith, doors open faster, peace settles deeper, wisdom increases, and breakthroughs come with less struggle. This is why prayer together is so powerful. Even short prayers spoken in agreement carry weight. They invite God's presence into everyday life, into decisions, finances, health, dreams, and emotions. Some of you have already seen this. When you prayed during hard seasons, things shifted. When you surrendered worries to God together, peace followed. When you trusted Him instead of forcing outcomes, doors opened naturally. That wasn't coincidence, that was the power of unity in action. Love also becomes a mirror. It reveals areas where growth is needed. Sometimes God uses your partner to show you impatience you didn't know you had, pride that needed softening, or fears that needed healing. This isn't punishment, it's preparation. He refines us so we can love better, lead better, and live better. Instead of resisting correction, embrace it. When you learn to apologize sincerely, your heart grows stronger. When you learn to listen fully, your understanding deepens. When you learn to forgive quickly, peace becomes your lifestyle. These habits don't just bless your relationship, they bless every area of your life. Chosen ones, your love is meant to empower your dreams, not distract from them. Healthy relationships push each person closer to purpose. You encourage one another's callings. You support each other's growth. You celebrate progress instead of competing for attention. When love is rooted in God, success becomes shared, not separate. Take time to talk about your dreams together. Pray over your goals. Speak life into each other's future. When one feels tired, the other lifts them up. When one feels unsure, the other reminds them of God's promises. This is partnership as God intended. Here are a few simple practices that strengthen love daily. Start each morning with gratitude. Thank God for one another out loud. End each day with forgiveness. Clear any tension before sleep. Schedule time each week to connect without distractions. Speak encouragement often, even for small efforts. Pray together regularly, even if briefly. These habits create emotional safety and spiritual strength. If you've been distant lately, today can be your turning point. If communication has felt heavy, God can restore clarity. If trust has been shaken, healing can begin now. Nothing is too broken for God's grace. Love that invites Him in always has hope. Let me ask you again, how has your relationship helped you grow as a person? What positive changes have you noticed in yourself since loving deeply? Share if you're comfortable. Your story could bring encouragement to someone who feels discouraged. Before we move forward, take a moment to like this message if it's blessing you, and share it with someone who believes in faith-filled love. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join the Chosen Star family so we continue growing together. Your love is not ordinary. It carries purpose, it reflects God's heart, and it is shaping a future filled with strength, peace, and impact. Chosen one, love that honors God never stays hidden in small spaces. It grows into influence. It becomes a testimony. It inspires others to believe again. Your relationship is not only for your happiness, it is a reflection of God's goodness working through two willing hearts. When you walk in unity, heaven responds. When you choose patience over anger, grace increases. When you choose faith over fear, stability follows. This is how lasting love is built, one faithful decision at a time. Some of you have walked through seasons where it felt easier to quit. Words were spoken in frustration, expectations weren't met, prayers seemed unanswered. Yet you stayed. You fought for love instead of fleeing from it. That perseverance is what transformed your bond into something strong and meaningful. God always rewards faithfulness, not always immediately, but always surely. When you remain committed through discomfort, He deepens trust. When you remain loving through hardship, He strengthens connection. When you remain prayerful through uncertainty, He opens new levels of peace. Now is the season to nurture what God has grown. Speak life over your relationship daily. Refuse to entertain negativity about one another. Protect your bond from outside voices that don't honor commitment. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. One powerful habit that changes relationships is intentional blessing. Each day, speak words of encouragement over your partner. Pray for their health, their dreams, their peace, and their purpose. When you bless instead of criticize, love flourishes. Another important practice is serving one another with joy. Love shows itself through action. Small gestures, listening fully, helping without being asked, expressing appreciation, build emotional security. These daily choices create a foundation that lasts through every season. Also, keep God at the center of everything you do together. Pray before big decisions. Thank Him after victories. Trust Him during challenges. Relationships rooted in faith remain strong even when circumstances shift. For those still waiting for their soulmate, don't lose hope. God prepares hearts before He connects lives. Use this season to grow spiritually, heal emotionally, and clarify your values. The stronger you become in God, the healthier your future relationship will be. Your love story, whether already unfolding or still ahead, is designed for peace, growth, and purpose. God never creates connections just for comfort. He creates them for destiny. Chosen ones, your ability to love deeply is a gift. It reflects God's own heart toward His people. Let your relationship continue to shine with faith, patience, forgiveness, and joy. If this message encouraged you, comment "Love Built on Faith" so we can pray for one another. Share this with someone who believes in God-centered relationships. And don't forget to subscribe to The Chosen Star for more faith-filled encouragement and spiritual growth. May your love continue to grow stronger, your faith deeper, and your future brighter as you walk together with God leading every step.